Hello, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining our virtual training. Today's session will walk you through how to effectively prepare for your upcoming 21st century site visits. We'll cover expectations, documentation, compliance items, and how to collaborate with your TA to ensure program success. Here you will find our Alabama 21st Century team members under the leadership of Ms. Amanda Rowland, our 21st Century State Coordinator. Please take a moment to sign in using the QR code. This will help us document participation. The purpose of our training is to provide information related to our new site visit forms. Your technical advisor or TA will conduct 2 site visits per semester, one announced and one unannounced. These visits ensure your program is compliant, safe, and delivering quality services. The ultimate goal is to have all documentation current and easily accessible at all times. This is the top portion of your site visit form. This portion of the form will be completed by your TA with your assistance. As the TA completes the site visit, information will be collected related to each indicator on the form. When providing the proposed number of students, please remember that this is the number of students that you have listed in your RFA. All other numbers would be for the students, staff members, and volunteers in attendance the day of the visit. Remember, staff members and volunteers should have fingerprinting and background checks on file and available. Be sure to have sign-in sheets from the day of and the day before the visit. The TA will physically count students. You will need to have your easy reports updated. Your TA will verify the number entered in Easy Reports to ensure that it matches the number of students that attended the day of the visit. This will be verified within a week of your visit. This is very important to keep your Easy Reports as up to date as often as possible. Your site must maintain a current safety plan and proof of staff training. Safety drills should be documented in a consistent format. Keep agendas and sign-in sheets from the training accessible and be sure drill documentation is up to date and on site. There should be a staff orientation of the safety plan for the school year and summer. Each staff member should receive a copy of the safety plan and sign that they have reviewed it. I have attached a link of a sample safety plan and your safety drill response form. The safety plan should be edited to suit the needs of your site. Fire and severe weather drills should be done monthly. Lockdown and bus drills should be done once each semester and during the summer. This is a safety plan, a sample of the safety plan that you all will use for your school year and summer safety plans. Please change the information that will meet the needs of your site. As you can see throughout, there are areas that need to be filled in and completed by everyone in your site. Also, make sure that you have all the information and it's up to date and current with the information that you need from your local agencies and also the information concerning your physical location. There are roles that need to be assigned to different members on your team and staff, and that information should be updated and readily available, especially if there is an emergency. Now, this will lead us into our next form, which is our safety drill form. Here you will see a copy of our safety drill response form. You will see the months listed and how each drill should be performed. Monthly, there should be a fire drill. Severe weather should be done monthly. Your lockdown drill should be done once per semester and one drill at the beginning of the summer. And your bus drill should be one drill at the beginning of each semester and one drill at the beginning of your summer program. Have your daily program schedule readily available. It should clearly reflect the activities outlined in your approved RFA and provide structure. This will be reviewed during your visit, so make sure it's posted and followed consistently. Background checks and fingerprint is required by EDGAR and the RFA. All adults that will be interacting with students should be fingerprinted and have background checks completed. This should be available at all times for your TA to view. Any volunteers or vendors that are on site the day of the site visit must have their fingerprint and background checks completed. This is very important. Documentation of student meals, whether breakfast, snacks, or dinner, must be available. Be prepared to share meal rosters, menus, and vendor documentation if applicable. There should be a process in place of keeping account of the distribution of food provided. Those who have snacks or meals provided by CNP, which is your child nutrition program of your LEA, make sure there is an MOU signed stating the partnership between the site and CNP. Provide a list of all items purchased with 21st century funds. The inventory list should be complete and include documentation for each item. This includes purchase orders, receipts, and any other inventory documentation. It is very important that any inventory purchased using 21st century funds should be clearly labeled. Provide a copy of the inventory sheet for your TA to check inventory. I have included the inventory sheet that is required by ALSDE. Here is the inventory sheet that is required by ALSDE. Please make sure that the information provided matches all purchases that have been made using 21st century funds. Lesson plans should be aligned with your RFA and be available daily. Make sure student work reflects lesson objectives, have physical copies and or photos of activities to demonstrate student engagement and learning outcomes. This is a component of compliance monitoring. I have attached a copy of the lesson plan template. Here is a sample lesson plan template that you can use for your lessons for your site. You can check off the grade levels, the days of the week, and the quarters that the lessons are taught. There are boxes here for you to add the information for your RFA objectives and also the information that will be taught to students during that particular lesson. Please make sure that your lesson plans are available for your TA. Ensure timesheets and personal activity reports, your PARs, are available for review. These must be current, signed, and aligned with the reported hours of operation. Every staff member should have timesheets and or PARs available for the TA to view during the visit. The attached document is a sample PARs. Please notice the position, employee rate of pay, and the pay period are listed. When signing the PARs, all signatures should be a wet signature. Here you will find a sample of the PARS report that you all will turn in for your employees. You can see where they're listed. You can have the LEA or CBO, the site, the employee's name, their position, the employee number and rate of pay, and also the pay period. Here you can add the dates, the time in, time out, the total 21st century hours, and their responsibilities. Please remember that the signatures for the PARs should be a wet signature for the employee and the site director or program director and dated. For field trip approval, the site must provide a submission log and lesson plans to be reviewed by the assigned TA or ALSDE representative for approval. I have attached the required documents for field trip approval. The sample approval form will be completed by your assigned TA or ALSDE representative. Field trips require pre approval, relevant lesson plans, and post trip assessments. TAs will want to see that these trips are tied to learning objectives and that the follow up activities are meaningful. Please note the deadline dates for field trip submissions. Here is an example of the field trip approval form. Your TA or ALSDE representative will submit this information back to you once your a trip has been approved or not approved. And we will send this information to you via email. That way you can have it for your documentation for compliance monitoring. Here is the field trip lesson plan format that you will use for your field trip submissions. Make sure you include the information that is required for the trip. Explain how the trip meets the needs or meets at least one of the goals included in your grant application. There should be an agenda. Your educational preparatory or prior learning activities should be included. Also, there should be the learning standards that are provided from the Alabama course of study and a follow up assessment. Also, note the dates when the field trip forms are due. First semester, they're due by August the 15th. Second semester trips are due by January the 15th. And all summer trips are due by May the 15th. This form is your field trip submission log. Here you include the information about your LEA or CBO, your site, their superintendent or designee signature and title should be here, your CBO's executive director's signature should be here, and the principal. Note the destination and address should be listed for each trip on the submission log, the date that the trip will take place, also your departure time and return time, the approximate number of students, adults, your approximate mileage, and also the approximate cost. This should be submitted with your lesson plan and your information concerning your trip. This section will address items that will be needed for compliance monitoring. Your TA will review the items listed and document the items that were reviewed during the visit. If any of the items are not available during the visit, this will be discussed with your TA. If you have not completed some of the tasks listed, you should let your TA know when you anticipate completing the task. Many items listed should be completed each year at the beginning of the program. There should be a parent orientation for the school year and summer programs. Be ready to share these items with your TA. This section is for additional questions. Please sit with your TA and you all collaborate on the questions listed. Provide any information that is needed for your TA, and also these will be some areas where you have some talking points to discuss information about your program. This is the final section of your site visit. Your TA will summarize the findings, provide feedback, and help outline any needed improvements. This is a joint effort to ensure your program meets the goals. Be sure to sign off on the form along with your site coordinator and TA. Here is a link of the site visit form. Please print the form and prepare the items before your scheduled visit. I would suggest having a binder in place that your TA can use to review some of the items that are needed for your site visit. The final document that we have here is a copy of your unannounced site visit form. It is similar to your site visit form that you have. There are a few changes and I want to highlight those. One of change would be here where we have the latest sign in and out sheets. The easy report numbers will be what the TA will verify after the site visit to make sure that it matches your count that you all have in for the number of students that were present the day of the visit. The school safety portion will show that the site is secure and whether or not the drills have been done. Also, your schedule needs to be provided or posted for the TA to view. Your background check needs to and fingerprinting should match the personnel that's on staff that particular day. Current lesson plans should be available. The latest timesheets and PARs should be available, and also they would date the latest timesheet and PAR. Then you have the information regarding any field trips that have been taken during that time frame when the site visit was done, as far as your unannounced visit, and make sure that everything matches with what was submitted for your field trip. This portion of this unannounced visit will the TA will circle yes or no here, and also de- determine whether or not this information was viewed during that visit and what they observed. Note that you have your service learning activities in the project. That information will be listed as well. And then the last part is who was in attendance and who signed. So you have your signatures and the title and the position of the people who will be signing. Before we wrap up, please remember to complete the attendance sign out QR code. It confirms your full participation and helps us track training completion. Thank you for your time and dedication to your program and students. Site visits are an opportunity to showcase the great work you're doing. We're here to support you in every step of the way.